You want a chiseled physique. You want to look amazing. You want to have sculpt and shape and muscle and leanness. Here's the key. Performance training. No joke. Nothing is more correlated to looking amazing than moving amazing. Performance is the key. We're going to get into it and why if you chase this, you're going to look the way you want.
Move good, look good.
That's it. 100%. This
look good while moving.
This is an interesting conversation because we often, good job with the joke. We often chase the look. We chase the body that we want. And when we ask people, what body do you want? What they refer to is the way it looks, right?
Yeah.
Somebody hires you as a trainer. We know this. What are your fitness goals? The top goals are always appearance related. And I get that.
I mean, it's always that, right?
Always.
I'm trying to think of a time that somebody hired me and I asked that question and they said, oh, I want to move really well. I don't know if I've ever heard that.
No.
It's 1%. I mean, I might have come across it, but it is not.
I mean, I can't.
Not high.
I imagine I've had somebody, but like I can't pinpoint a story to share with you where I remember that.
I remember there was a couple times where someone said specifically a performance goal, like a couple. I remember getting excited because it's so rare.
So different, yeah.
They came in and said, we want to get strong.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
That's
and it was
cool.
like really exciting. Like, oh, this
That
is great.
and pain, I think I've had that.
Pain, I
It's
get
just
that.
different.
Pain
For
is
sure.
total. That's a major motivator.
Yeah, because
right?
that's a reminder every day.
But I have to say, I'm pretty sure even all the pain people went like this. Like, I really want to get rid of that low
Also,
back pain, but I'd love to.
get rid of this
and I want to look.
pooch.
Yes, I think almost always there's a and also with the pain.
Right. And so, and I get that, right? I get that because the visual representation of health is what we're all after, not necessarily health, not necessarily performance. But here's the kicker. Here's the trick or the hack or the secret is that if you focus on performance, you're going to move in the right direction. If this is your North Star, and we'll talk about what we mean by performance, right? If that's your North Star with your fitness journey, you're more likely to move in the right direction, less likely to move in the wrong direction. And this is even true with diet in relation to this particular goal. Now, on the flip side, if this goal that you have is a visual goal or how you want to look or an aesthetic goal, and that's your North Star, I mean, I don't have to say this to you guys, but to people listening, more often than not, if that's your North Star without guidance, you're not working with a good coach or trainer who understands better, you're more likely to move in the wrong direction. Mm-hmm. You're more likely to do things that sacrifice performance, oftentimes sacrifice health, in pursuit of a look. And now here's the crappy part of that. You don't even get the look, right? If your performance declines, your health, especially if your health declines, you don't get that look that you're looking for. And I think this is one of the this is like the crux of why people have trouble getting to their fitness goals and staying at their fitness goals because they're focusing on the side effect and not on the main thing, not the root. And at the root of aesthetics is a body that moves well, a body that's strong, a body that can
Healthy,
perform.
thriving, and performing.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. And so again, and I'll say this as a trainer, good trainers know this. If a trainer is listening right now, you know exactly what I'm talking about. A client hires you with an aesthetic goal, which is most clients. You know what you track. You don't track their aesthetics. That's what they track. What you track is strength, stamina, mobility, endurance, how well they can move in different directions.
Stability.
This is what you're paying attention to. Now, why are you paying attention to this? Well, one, you have integrity. You want your client to be healthy and move well. But two, this is what'll produce what they want, what they're after. And a good trainer has to communicate this along the way. And I wish people really understood this because, again, if your performance is improving, you're moving in the right direction. It's just what's happening.
Well, I think this would keep a much higher percentage of people continuing on if they focused on this, because many times you will start to see a lot of these things move in the right direction with appropriate programming well before you'll see the aesthetic part.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
And this doesn't require the diet to be perfect to move this needle in the right direction. I can improve stability, mobility, strength, some of these markers with a client who still hasn't wrestled with their diet issues or still hadn't hit their macros and haven't figured that out or still having some issues with getting a grip on that. And so if we were focused on that, even though maybe we're not doing the best with the diet, you would still be very optimistic because you're like, hey, I'm moving in the right direction.
Right. Today's program giveaway is the RGB bundle. If you want to win, leave a comment below this video. In the first 24 hours that we drop it, subscribe to this channel, turn on notifications. If you win, we'll notify you in the comments section. Also, right now, flash sale because of this episode. We talk all about performance. We'll check it out. MAPS Performance is half off, 50% off. Head over to mapsperformance.com. Use this code for half off, Athlete50. Back to the show.
All right, real quick. If you love us like we love you, why not show it by rocking one of our shirts, hats, mugs, or training gear over at mypumpstore.com. I'm talking right now. Hit pause, head on over to mypumpstore.com. That's it. Enjoy the rest of the show. I think a clear example of that in terms of the difference of it is like if I've been in a calorie deficit for so long because I'm so sure that I don't want to gain body fat. Like I just want to stay there, but I'm still training and I'm still kind of putting effort in the gym. My energy sucks. My workout sucks. Like I'm not paying attention to any of those performance metrics of me moving forward at all, but I'm making sure that I'm staying under, this calorie amount to keep my body weight as such. Like I'm in a terrible place.
Right. And again, now just to add to that, if your North Star is performance, and we'll get to what we mean by performance because it is a holistic approach. If your North Star is performance and you're making adjustments to your diet to improve your performance, the adjustments you'll make are typically the better adjustments.
Yep.
And if they're not, you'll know it, right?
You'll know it. You'll see
if you're
it.
like, I need more stamina.
Yeah.
Okay, what's happening with my diet? I'm not feeding myself enough. Maybe I'm not eating enough carbohydrates. Maybe my fat intake is too low because any one of those things can contribute to reduced performance. So you start making these adjustments and then you notice improved stamina. This is the right direction. Okay, now I want to get stronger. What are the changes I need to make to my diet? Versus, there's things I can do on my diet that can just make me lose water. I can lose weight on the scale. That can give me a false signal. I'm moving in the right direction. Meanwhile, I'm weaker. Mm-hmm. I don't feel as good. I can't tell you how many clients hired me and were so blinded by the false signals of the mirror and the scale. So much so that they totally sacrificed performance and they sacrificed their health in pursuit of this sign that is meant to be the side effect. And I'll word it differently. A body that can perform well, okay? A body that performs well typically looks good.
Oh, yeah.
It typically looks good. So chasing this or using this as your gauge is phenomenal. And you've heard us, if you listen to the show, you know that we like to point to strength, and strength is an incredible metric, especially for the first few years of training. But when we're talking about performance, we're talking about broad spectrum, holistic performance. We're talking about all of the metrics of physical fitness because they all help balance things out. Because you could also get very narrow in scope with just like endurance or just strength. But when you're looking at overall, and what we're going to do is we're going to break down all the different attributes and metrics of performance that you can measure. And when you're looking at all of them, along with your workout programming and adjusting accordingly, you're moving in the right direction, and you will. This is not like a maybe. You will look better as you do this.
Well, you made a point in an earlier episode that if you look at it holistically, all the different pursuits of performance, they have natural checks and balances to them. Because you can become obsessive about a single performance metric or number, and that can lead to chronic pain or bad habits, bad behaviors. But if you look at it holistically at all the things, they do have natural limiters or they have natural checks and balances. And so I think that's such a good way to look at it, and so much better for long-term health and keeping people consistent would be to reframe their goal around stuff like
it's
that.
Also
easier psychologically too.
Yes, totally. And it's also this, like from a health perspective, the things that correlate best to longevity and health, if you were to look at, what are the correlates? What are the metrics that I can measure that will directly tell me whether or not my longevity and my health are doing well? The best ones are all performance-based. The famous one that now medical community talks about quite a bit is a grip strength test. Mm-hmm. So you can predict all-cause mortality better with a simple grip strength test than you can with almost any other single metric. Now, what's so special about grip strength? Nothing specifically about grip strength except that it's a proxy for overall body strength. So when someone's strong with that performance metric, we see longevity. Now, what if we threw in there stamina, What if we threw in there mobility? What if we threw in there your ability to have reactional ability, explosive power, which everybody needs a little bit? If you throw that all in there, what you have is a healthy person with great longevity. And I'll put it differently. If you took two groups of people, 50 here and 50 here, and this group over here, we're just going to make you fit. We're not going to worry about anything else. I don't care about body fat percentage. I don't care about the scale. I don't care about how you look. The goal is at the end of this 1 year experiment, we want to dramatically improve your performance. And then this group over here, all you guys are going to focus on is trying to look better in the mirror. So your workouts, your diet, all that stuff, it's all focused on what you see on the mirror. Over here, it's all about performance. At the end of the year, guess who looks the best?
Yeah.
The performance group. Yeah. So this is one of the best ways to measure your progress, to gauge your progress, and to make adjustments in your programming, meaning your workouts, and your diet. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through what performance looks like and why each of the attributes that we're going to talk about are so important and what they contribute to in terms of aesthetics. Because here's what we're going to do right now. Our job is to sell you the right thing, because I know it's easy to sell you. You're going to look good. Every other moron in the fitness industry does that. We're going to try and sell you the right thing, and we're going to try and sell it more effectively, and here's how. So we'll start with the first one, which is multiplane movement ability. Let's explain what that means. Yeah. So multiplanar movement means I have good movement and stability forward and back, side to side, and I can rotate, okay? So I'm not just strong and fast going forward and back. I'm also strong and fast going laterally. I can also twist. I can also move on one leg or one hand. I have this ability to kind of move in different directions. And sometimes what you'll see with athletes, bodybuilders are a good example, where they just want to develop a particular look, is that they miss out on multiplanar movement. So they oftentimes don't have good rotation, good lateral ability. Powerlifters, sometimes you'll see this, or oftentimes you'll see this as well. If you have good multiplanar movement ability, here's what you accomplish from a look perspective: balance and symmetry.
That's it.
Balance and symmetry. So balance refers to how balanced your body looks, right? Does your legs and your upper body match? Do you look like you're balanced? You're well developed all the way up and down. That's balance. Symmetry is right to left. Well, if you're good at moving in all these different directions, everything's developed.
Yeah.
And if you're not good at moving all these different directions and you focus on getting better at them, you'll develop better balance and symmetry.
Well, balance in this situation also includes stability.
Yes.
The ability to move in different planes challenges those joints to stabilize as you move left or right or rotationally, and that ability to stabilize, anti-rotate, do all those things also creates balance, and balance in the joint and stability, which is also important and comes from the multi-plane movements. And I remember when this really hit for me, because early on in my career, this wasn't a part of my programming. And I remember having clients who I would have considered really fit and healthy getting injured, not working out with me, but doing some of the most basic stuff back at home.
Yeah.
And
like grabbing a shampoo bottle.
Looking back, I take full responsibility for that as the person who was guiding them through their fitness journey, that I was not addressing a lot of these things that we're talking about today because I was so focused myself on what they're telling me. I just want to lose weight, Adam. I just want to look good. And so everything was around macros, weight loss, building muscle, but not also thinking about the other component of the performance piece, which gives them stability, which it gives them the ability to reach back and feed their kid in the backseat, or pull something, a weed out of the ground, or pick up the shampoo, rotate and pick up the shampoo bottle. And that's what was so crazy was here were these clients that I got up to 200-something pounds deadlifting, but then they hurt themselves picking a shampoo bottle up out of the shower. It was like, what? But it was because I neglected this in the programming.
That's right. And
it's
also
segmented strength.
Yes.
Is how I like to picture that, instead of like integrated strength where it's complementing big motor movements. And so I think that a lot of times like people can get really focused on body parts individually. And I understand that because it might be a glaring thing. I want to build and develop this. When in fact you start integrating these types of movements in a broader scale, it balances it out. Also expresses end range strengths, which you build and develop muscles even fuller than you could by isolating them.
Yeah, now think of it this way: you have an orchestra, right? So you've got 30 instruments in this orchestra, but they never play music together. Everybody practices by themselves. Even the same song, they just practice by themselves. Then comes the night for the orchestra. They're about to present themselves. They all play together. It's just not as good as if they actually practice together. Your body's balance and symmetry is a reflection of how well things move together. Now, people have tried to hack this by developing individual muscles and body parts. And yes, that can definitely give you the look. But this naturally occurs when you pay attention to your ability to move in different planes of motion. This naturally occurs. You naturally develop balance and symmetry, or as bodybuilders call it, beauty of the body. So the aesthetic benefit of multiplanar movements, many times these are exercises we avoid, we don't do in the gym because it's not a specific body part that we're training. When you work on this balance and symmetry develops, and your muscles develop in ways that they wouldn't had you not focused on that. Next, here's the attribute we talk about all the time. I probably don't have to sell this one that much. Strength, just general strength. Now, strength is a wonderful, wonderful metric and attribute. I tell people to focus on, for the first 3 years of training, just get stronger. I like saying it because it's basic, it's simple. It tends to point people in the right direction. You have to feed your body appropriately to get strong. If you're getting stronger, you're building more muscle, which tends to speed up the metabolism, which makes fat loss easier. Mm-hmm. You can't undernourish or underfeed yourself and get stronger. You can't overtrain and get stronger. Your programming has to be good, or you want to get stronger. Strength, more strength equals more muscle. So it's the closest correlate to muscle growth is muscle strength. Build strength, build muscle, faster metabolism.
It also gets you out of the comparison game that I think that is more prevalent today than it ever has before. Because we follow all these inspirational, super fit bodies. It's hard whether you know you're doing it or not, but subconsciously you're comparing yourself to all these bodies. And so getting away from looking at that body versus my body and feeling like, oh my God, I could never look that way, or I'm so far away from that. I'm focused on last month, I could bench press this and squat this. Yeah. And now this month I can do this. It's like you're comparing your strength, your numbers, where you're at, and it helps move away from this comparison game that I think we do, whether we believe we do it or not. If you've got a feed on Instagram that's full of all these fit inspiration people that you follow, it is really difficult not to do that. Even like subconsciously, even if you don't realize it, that's what you're getting all the time. It's like you're subconsciously comparing that, like, oh, I want to look like that, or I want to be like that. Even if you're not saying it, I think that's what it helps move you away from that direction, and why that's such a healthy way to lift.
Right. Next up is stamina. Stamina tends to contribute to a sculpted athletic look. When properly pursued in a routine, stamina contributes to a body that looks more athletic. Now, what does that mean? Well, I mean, I hate to use these terms because I think these are terms that are bastardized. You look less muscle bound. You look like you can move better. You know it when you see it. You know when a person looks like they have some stamina. Can you trick this? Can you fool people with this? You can. But building stamina in combination with multiplanar movement, in combination with strength, produces a sculpted look. And stamina training is great for VO2 max, great for muscle health, great for heart health, and it contributes to building strength. There is a certain amount of stamina you need to build strength. And in fact, sometimes strength athletes forget this, and the limiting factor is their stamina, and they can't build the strength that they need to.
Yeah, to move fast, you have to have a bit of that mobility, that looseness. You can't, like, you can tell right away if somebody is limited in their movement patterns and they're rigid. And to be able to move fast, it creates that that specific look. And you see this in athletes where it's definitely what we're going for, that more lean, defined type of a look with musculature. However, the actual movement itself is an aesthetic pursuit on its own.
Well, when I think of lift stamina, I think of heart health, and I think of lifting weights for the heart.
Yeah.
We talk all about the benefits of lifting weights. We understand that for your skeletal muscle, it's like your heart is the most important muscle in your entire body. This is your way of lifting weights with your heart, is training stamina training. Of course, you do get some of those benefits from traditional weightlifting. We talk about that a lot. We talk about the way you can manipulate reps, but pure traditional stamina type training included into a training block is like pure strength training for your heart. And all the benefits that come from that.
That's right. This episode is brought to you by LMNT, the world's best electrolyte powder. No artificial sweeteners or sugar. 1,000 milligrams of sodium per serving. Head over to drinklmnt.com/mind pump. Back to the show. Now we'll talk about power. What's power? It's the ability for your muscles to contract quickly and safely. Now, power is, by the way, training for power is a very, lack of a better term, powerful way to build muscle. It's all fast twitch muscle fibers. Those are the ones that build and grow. And here's the crazy part.
Big muscle fibers.
It's also one of the first things to go too.
You don't train power, you lose it. You can be strong with poor power. I know this personally. I was the other day I was filming a workout in my series, and I hadn't done fast explosive pull-ups in a long time. Now it's crazy. I could rep out 25 pull-ups. I'm strong at pull-ups, but I went to go do fast pull-ups and they were slow because I haven't practiced this. Now the average person like, why do I need power? Why do I need that? Okay, well, you step off a curb on accident, you need power. Your kid is about to run across the street, you need some power. You need to change directions quickly because the glass fell off
Jump
the
over
counter.
something.
You need power and you lose it. Now, what does power produce? Well, it looks like powerful muscle. And you can see this. Sprinters are a good example. When you look at their legs, they have muscle that looks like it can contract and move quickly. And so some power training, now you can go crazy with power training like Olympic lifters, but there is a component of power training that the average person can implement that's going to just contribute to the way that their body performs and looks.
Well, it's training your body to have control in those moments. Those moments are inevitable, to your point about stepping off the curb, sprinting up the stairs to your kid one time, or like when it was very eye-opening for me, jumping out of the back of my truck and like thinking my knees were going to explode. Like I remember the first time that happened to me, it was such an eye-opening movement for me. And I remember going like, wow, I haven't trained this way. I don't play basketball. I'm not doing a lot of sports that included power anymore. And because my training wasn't reflecting that, I noticed that I had lost that ability to do that, to decelerate like that. And it's like, wow, that you training power is going to incorporate the control that you have in those situations. Huge value to people as they age.
Right. And then finally, we have mobility. Now, what is mobility? It's your ability to move your joints through their fullest range of motion actively, not passively, meaning you control them. You have strength and stability in that full range of motion. It's not just flexible. Flexible means someone can stretch your leg to your foot.
You could get there.
Yes, but actively is like you can do it yourself and you can control it. Mobility, good mobility means you typically don't have weak areas in your body. It means you get a better return from strength training. Okay, what does that mean? Well, a barbell squat or an overhead press or a barbell row or whatever exercise with better mobility, better range of motion, means you get more out of the exercise. One set of squats with good mobility is more effective at building your lower body than one squat with subpar mobility. So mobility makes your strength training just more effective.
And two, I mean, just any precarious position your body's going to be in, like the more mobility capacity you have, the more likely you're going to be able to get out of that or through that safe and effectively with strength. And it's one of those protective elements I don't think people really highlight enough. Two, it contributes to your overall performance. So, the more mobile and stable you can create around your joints, you actually produce more force output. So you can actually recruit more muscle fibers, and in a sense, you get stronger. So, there's a lot more benefit to it other than just like preventative injury.
Well, how about quality of life and posture? Yeah. I mean, those two things have just completely impacted my life personally. I mean, that up into that year kick that I went on, I really didn't address mobility in my own training and the impact it had on my low chronic pain, my ability to sit down, ass to grass comfortably and play with my son, or to sit on a plane and not feel like my low back is on fire. I mean, addressing all the weaknesses and instability in all my joints has completely alleviated chronic pain, improved quality of life, and my posture is significantly better for it. So I'm a huge advocate for training this way, and I think it's overlooked in a lot of training programs because we're so heavily focused on the look, and this part improves quality of life like no other.
You lose mobility over time. You will have a sacrifice with aesthetics. Why? You can't move as well. The repertoire of exercises available to you becomes smaller and smaller. Suddenly, I can't do that exercise that I used to love. So now I got to move to this one. And now I can barely do that one. I got to move to this other one.
Diminishing returns.
Next thing you know, your list of exercises is smaller and smaller and smaller, and your body doesn't respond as well because you can't do as much stuff. Mobility is key. Mobility is absolute key to effective strength training. Now look, we have one program that addresses all of this. Only one. There's only one MAPS program that you could follow indefinitely. Every other MAPS program is relatively narrow in scope in comparison and requires you to cycle in and out. But we have one program that does all of this. In fact, it's the program that would develop the perfect body over years and years and years because it's so balanced. It's MAPS Performance. And because of this episode, MAPS Performance is on a flash sale. It's half off right now. So it's 50% off. If you want to get it, you go to mapsperformance.com, use the code athlete50. That'll give you 50% off. You can also find us on Instagram at MindPumpMedia. We'll see you there. All right, I know you liked that episode. If you did, check this one out. How strong should you be? Ever wonder if you're actually strong, or at least compared to people like yourself? Today's episode, we're going to talk about that, and we're going to help you determine how strong you should be, and also talk about the steps to getting strong as fast as possible. In fact, we're going to talk about the fastest way to get bigger and stronger all at the same time.
I know keeps Adam up at night.
Yes, it does, actually. And I know that you wrote a really complex episode here, but I think Justin's metric has been the one